rental to FICA, from salaries to materials. This is in elections, so this is 413.
So the first one is overtime.
Yeah, the 402 is the county clerk, the 413 is elections.
What's
The 108 is going into
106?
overtime. Huh?
106?
That's retirement, going into,
So 103 is,
that's in, elections in Christie's. They're taking 2,000 from the salary line item into materials.
the people we just voted to hire, would they not be paid out of that same line? item?
That's salaries. This will have to come out.
This is overtime for anybody that works in the clerk's office.
Anybody that works in the clerk's office.
This is a similar amount that was approached earlier in the week on, which, and I interpreted it that it was for salaries. And my question was, if it's salaries, then you're gonna carry that forward and year and year and year, you know, you give it to somebody, you can't take it away. I met with Mr. Yu, and he said that he would make the request that he thought was gonna be on overtime, and so that's what we have here now. And I don't have a problem with this overtime.
That sounds like a repetitive.
Right, that's my concern is that.
My motion to go.
The second.
Been motion second, all yes, motion carries.
I make a request that we go into executive session to discuss a personal matter, and I request that Mr. Charles Brumfield go with us, because it affects him.
Well, I'm not a person for executive sessions. If it's something that's incriminates somebody or certainly reflects on somebody's personality.
It is not that.
I just, I just always believe it's the people's business, and we either vote things up or down. Doesn't mean people agree with you, but I don't know if it ain't me. I just seem to have an open meeting.
Well, if that's the way you want it, that's the way we'll have it.
Well, I mean, I just think it's, you know, if it's that important, people need to know what's going on. I don't know what it is, but I just don't, I'm just not an executive.
It's on raises that is proposed.
Out of the budget in March,
The one that's coming up, 1st of July.
okay.
I would like to make the request that all people are treated equally. For instance, $50 per month, it's across the board for everybody. Instead of giving somebody X amount and somebody zero. I don't agree with that.
Okay.
And a letter should be sent to each department head of them evaluating their employees, what they want or how they want it, or a lump sum to be divided or whatever. But as far as giving 2,000, 3,000, whatever the case may be, to one person is unfair.
Anything else?
Well, there is, if you will, bonuses or whatever being paid that really doesn't show up. That is questionable. But I just have one department. That's somebody else's matter.
I don't think, you know, if anybody gets paid any bonuses, you're not, as I understand the code, is that bonuses aren't permitted in the public sector. I've never condoned any bonus.
Wait a minute, don't speak no.
Did we, in our workshop, did we agree like on, what was it, a $600 one-time or something?
We talked that we would try to come with something out of carryover. We haven't really voted to do that yet, to give everybody something. But we haven't decided that. We won't know till the end of this month what Cali Carry looks good. But we just just always, wait, make sure we got the money to do that. If we do that, everybody will be treated the same, yes, that's what we agree.
Well, I mean, we haven't given anybody, each of our.
Only thing we have is in each elected official, and that's our responsibility. In March is to notify elected officials and set a time, date. You're to come in and present your request to the county commission to be funded for whatever, whether it be postage, whether it be personnel, whether it be travel, whatever those things are. And again, just because you request don't mean you're going to get. What I understand, Mr. Yu, is that he's not happy with the decision that the commission made in March based upon the proposed budget that will take place in July up to next June. And you know, that may go on forever. I guess I look at it, as I have explained before to Mr. McGee, that it's the county commission's responsibility to be the, as I call it, the bankers of the people's money. And it's our responsibility to set the budget and maintain the budget. And transfers come in, we have to approve those. If it's something outside, we have to go and send it to the state and have the state tax people to approve. But within, we don't have to do that. But it's still our job to make sure that money is there to pay people's salary, benefits, to buy whatever, those things that are budgeted. Now, nowhere does it say that every department they're equal. That's up in the eyes of the beholder, I think, is there equality in the responsibility of every job that goes on at the courthouse? I, for one, see difference in responsibility. Sitting here as a commissioner for the whole time I had served until the last 2 years, and I know Dr. Vance will concur with part of this anyway, that there was never a time that we was presented with a true statement of our financial order from the sheriff's office until just within the last year and a half, 2 years. And when we would be told several times, yeah, it's in order, it's right. Well, when the auditor come in, it was never correct. I even went as far as one time to try to talk to us, CPA, would they be interested? And we even hired a retired person once that out of the school system that wanted to see if he could help us on it. And it just couldn't get it worked out, never could get a balanced budget, never could get a balanced statement, not a budget. And so when we got the person we have now, she basically said, I have all these years' experience out of state doing this and that. Well, prove it to us. And we hired in a beginning salary with no promise, but was saying, if you can show us this, we will consider giving you additional pay. And we have done that. This year, even though we were in a transition with the clerk's office and with the sheriff's office, as to when it came budget time, it was one of those things that they walked into because of circumstance. But the sheriff that we had appointed agreed with the previous budget request that this person be given a sizable increase. And I don't remember, I think it was 3,000, I'm not sure, Judy may remember, but it was a good increase to that person, even though they just have 2 or 3 years experience with us, but they had 15 or 20 with private business in Florida. And the lady has proven herself. I don't have any problem approving that kind of money. Still, the lady's probably making maybe 30,000 or something, but she's worth every penny plus, as far as I'm concerned. I'm the guy that has to sign off on all these checks. I'm the guy that has to sign these statements, but I still have to be able to sleep at night and feel like it. I've got money in the bank to pay for those checks I signed and those orders. Nobody has to agree with it. That's my responsibility, and I take it very seriously. And if somebody, doesn't like it, that's all right. I mean, I'm not here to please. I'm here to do a job. And my job is to make sure that the county's money is spent properly and according to code. And I believe we have. The auditor says we have. Now, I definitely don't feel like it's one of those things that needs to be talked about behind doors. This is the public's money. This is public concern, as far as I'm concerned. Now, if somebody can show me that there's more important job when you're sitting here as a county commissioner than making sure that the people's tax money is properly banked, properly spent, and properly accounted for, that person should be paid to make sure that happens, then, you know, we got a new commissioner coming on in January. He may see it that way. Well, you know, I'm gonna be sitting here the same way as I am right now. No, I don't see it that way. I doubt if he sees it that way. He's got a business background. You gotta account for the money. You don't just throw it away. And you definitely listen to what people say. People come up and say, I need more money. Well, at my age, I spent my lifetime in public life, and I've never seen paying people more money makes them happy. What I have seen sometimes, you give them a little more money and it gets the job done, but 2 years down the road, they want more money. This lady we give money to, she probably want more money. But somewhere in our responsibility, we pay what we can afford to get the job done the best it can be done. Now, do I like to see people upset and concerned and over whatever? No way. I mean, I'm just, you know, a good old soul myself. I like to be happy, but I got a job to do, and that job is making sure that we got money when people come in here and need something, whether it be water, whether it be something to school kids, whatever. We should have some money there to take care of those kind of things. Now, definitely, there's nobody in the courthouse overpaid, I don't think, in their mind. Now, you go out here and take an opinion poll of people who pay their taxes. I've never had the first person to come here and say, can I pay more taxes so somebody can have a higher salary? Nope, haven't never done that in 12 years. Now, if it did, it wouldn't be very many, I don't think. But the point is, not to belittle, but the point is, it's a serious issue. And somebody has to sit up here and decide that, and it's our job, when we put the budget together in March, to look at those things and talk about those things and listen to what people ask for. Mr. Brumfield's in on this. He comes to our meeting and he asked for a raise for, I don't know, 1 or 2 of his employees, and if I remember right, we granted those. I don't think we, is that right, Mr. Brumfield?
Well, the county didn't give them a raise. I had some money in my budget, and I gave them a raise.
All the
because-
money's counted.
Right. Do what?
All the money's counted.
Yeah, well, it was still in my budget. That's when I gave them the money.
But,
Yeah.
that's right. It was money that, where you got a younger employee and you had money left there.
Right.
Now,
right.
the commission didn't have to leave that money set there. At your request, you said, let's take that money from this position and give it to somebody who's been there a while.
Right.
No problem. We did that, is that correct?
Right, that's
So
correct.
we didn't cut the budget, we just moved the money as you requested.
That's right. You might tell them also, we're all getting a cut the 1st of July, too.
Well, that's true. I didn't- They don't wanna hear that. They'll say, cut them more. By tax, our budget is going down in Lincoln County. We're based on the amount of money that you pay taxes, you figure. And they put us in categories. And based on the categories you fall into, which is the total amount of money collected in the county on every 2 years, they put us in categories of pay. Like, what, 7 different categories, maybe going to 6 now. But Lincoln County is somewhere in the middle. We're not the poorest, we're getting close, but we're not the poorest. But at the same time, we fell down a notch in taxes. And every elected official's gonna lose somewhere around maybe $3,000. Don't say that's not enough, I know. But it is gonna go down. But that doesn't mean that you don't still try to do everything you can for your employees. I mean, we take the job, we got here and work hard to try to be elected, and you get paid, maybe not as much as some people would like to be. All I want to be paid. I like the job and what they pay me, and I wouldn't do it for nothing, but yeah, it's just one of those things, that you like something, you don't, and I like what I do. But anyway, back to Mr. Hughes' request and Mr. Brumfield. I respect them for trying to help their employees. They got a job to do, they got a department to run. And they should have every right to help every way they can their employees, particularly the ones who work hard to get the job done. Now, maybe all of them do, you know, I don't know if they don't, but sometimes we don't always have all of them, but most of them do, I'm sure. I know most all of them. But still, the problem is, as I see it, and I'll shut up in a minute, let these other guys talk. The problem as I see it is that sometimes, and not too often, but sometimes, sort of on the touch of what Mr. Brumfield did, he did, I think, in the way that it should be done. You have employees come and go, partly because we don't pay that much, maybe, or they find something else they like better. But if you hire somebody in at